It's very safe to say that my favorite art supply right now is these Tombow dual brush pens. I've had them for quite some time and I kind of go in and out of phases of using them, but recently I've really discovered a way that I enjoy using them that goes with my style really well, and I've been having a lot of fun playing with them, so I decided to buy more. That's pretty much what this boils down to. I realized that I didn't have a whole lot of browns, so I expanded my collection, and when I was ordering them, I was just kind of picked out a bunch of colors that I didn't have that I was like, pretty sure these are not close to any colors I have, so I just went a little crazy and bought some more. So I do have swatches in my sketchbook of these pens, but they're very unorganized and just kind of thrown in wherever I decided to put swatches in. They're not all together, so I decided to, especially with the new pens I bought, make just a sheet with swatches of all the pens that I have on them. So that is what I am doing. I decided to separate them by color just so it was more organized. These pens are labeled on the barrels. They have the number that they're labeled with. They're labeled both by numbers and they do have names. However, they don't have the names of the colors on the barrels. It's just the number that identifies the color, which, whatever. I mean, I get used to it after a while, but I find that a little bit strange, but it's really not the end of the world. So I just decided to organize them in a rainbow, just fit off of what I saw versus like the actual colors. I could have gone through and organized them by the actual numbers of the colors, but I figured that would be much more work than I was interested in putting forth, and I don't really know if there's like a super defined way that they're organized by number. I don't know if it's like as organized as the Copic color scheme or if it's just like going up the numbers in the color wheel, because there are some consistencies with it, but I really didn't feel like figuring it out or doing that, so I just decided to swatch them regularly. I did a swatch with both of the ends of the pen, so I did one side with the brush nib and the other side with the bullet nib, and then I wrote the numbers in the bullet nib. And I am so grateful that I did this because this made my life so much easier. I've recently in my sketchbook just been swatching them on the page next to the drawings, but it's really nice just having a loose sheet of paper that I can take with me with any sketchbook I have instead of swatching them over and over and over again. So that's nice, because I think I did do that with my Tombow pens at one point in time, but I think that was in an old sketchbook, and then I kept a swatch sheet in the old sketchbook, and it's been lost. So I swatched them again because I really enjoy swatching just in general, so I'm not complaining about having swatched them for like the 10th time probably. So that's okay. So for this video, I just sketched out a bunch of stuff in my sketchbook that I knew I wanted to color with these pens, and then I went ahead and I colored them. I've mostly been using these pens lately, and I don't know why. I think it's just the convenience of having pens where you can just grab them and work on any surface. Like, I don't have to worry about getting pen ink on my couch because I'm not that much of a disaster with them versus like watercolors, which, mind you, watercolors wash off, but like, I don't know, it's just been very nice because they're super portable, they're very convenient to use, and I've also been having so much fun using these pens. Pretty much since I moved out, these are like the only art supply I've used. I used my Arteza brush pens for the video for the Arteza brush pens, and I used them on my own just to try them out. And like a couple days ago, I used watercolors for the first time in like 2 months probably. But man, these pens have been so much fun to work with, and that's kind of why I wanted to expand my color range with them, just because I've been using them so much and I didn't have like any browns, so I definitely wanted to get more browns. I had 2 browns, I believe, 2 or 3 browns, and that's really the main reason I ended up ordering more, and then I used it as an excuse to get a bunch of other colors. But I don't think I'll be purchasing any more of these for a while, just because I feel like I do have a really nice color selection and I don't really see any other colors that I would be wanting. Something that I'm not a huge fan of is that, from what I've noticed from their selection of browns, is that a lot of them are like greenish yellowish toned browns. They're very icky browns is the way I would use to describe it. Personally, that's not my preference of browns. I like more like red toned browns, orange toned browns versus like yellow and greens, and I feel like a lot of their browns are icky browns. I don't know what to call them other than icky browns, so if you like browns with those undertones, I'm sorry for referring to them as icky, but they're icky in my opinion. And I believe I purchased most, if not all, of the shades of browns that they have. I purchased these pens through Dick Blick, and the only problem with Blick is that in the like swatches where you can see what color they are, they're not exact to the ink. I don't know if they take them off of ink swatches or if they take them off of the caps, and the caps aren't always super accurate. I haven't honestly like compared these caps to the inks very much, but like they're not accurate. I can tell you that with confidence, because sometimes a lot of them look really similar and they're really not similar, which is okay. I mean, that's something to expect out of art supplies. The caps aren't always going to exactly match the ink, but on Blick, it's really hard to tell what the color actually is. So even when I'm ordering them, I might see a color that I really like and it turns out being something that looks very different in person. Or vice versa. Sometimes I've ordered colors and I've been like, I don't know how I feel about it, and I get it in the mail and it's like, oh my god, this is my new favorite color because it's so pretty in person. So it's just kind of hit or miss. You could always like Google swatches of the Tombow pens and kind of get an idea off of other people's pictures, or you can go off of my swatches if you want, because they're fresh swatches. I don't know how light fast or not light fast these pens are, but you can always go off of that because I just did the swatches and I feel like the video doesn't completely take away the color of them, and it doesn't really distort them to the point at which they're not like the same color that you're seeing on the screen. So if you want to go off of my swatches, go nuts, because I found Dick Blick is the cheapest place to buy these pens, as it is for a lot of open stock art supplies, so that's the place to go. Also, I had absolutely no idea that my head was so in frame in this video. I'm watching my my video as I do my voiceover, because that's how I do my voiceovers, and wow, my head is in frame so much. I don't think I've ever done that before, so oopsies, sorry about that. Overall, I am really happy with how this spread turned out though. It's very colorful. I feel like these pens are just so much fun to play with, and the effect that I can get with them at this point in time is something that I really like. I really like how soft it looks and how colorful it is, and they're just a lot of fun to play with. I find that it's very comfortable for me to work with these pens and create art that I like, so I've really enjoyed working with these pens. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.